Hi guys, welcome to yet another tutorial by Anita Crochets. My name is Anita, and this time we are just doing a skill building tutorial, and we are going to be working this very simple ripple V stitch. All right, it's very fun to make. It's a one-step repeat. I've already made a panel which I used to make a skirt, but then I found that you can actually make blankets. That's if you're going to be working with chunky yarn. But for the project that I was making this for, I used the lighter yarn, and this is how it came out. So I'm just going to take you through how to come up with this kind of panel. Instead, I'm going to be working a small piece of this very same stitch, just to show you what you must do and how many multiples of stitches that will be needed or required to work this kind of stitch. So just brace yourselves and let me take you through how to make this stitch look this beautiful. All right. And first of all, I'm going to be working with size 2 yarn. It's acrylic, 100 grams, 50 grams, and it's size 2, so I'm going to be doubling my strands. Then lastly, I'm going to be working with a 4.5 millimeter hook. My nails are not that good, so just don't mind them. I just haven't really found time to go and work on them, but let's get started. All right. So we are going to grab our yarn and we are going to work a slip knot. Okay. Now, before I tell you how many number of chains that you need to work, this stitch pattern works in sets of 14 or multiples of 14. All right. So for whichever number of sets that you want or multiples that you need for your project, for whichever purpose you are working this for, please make sure that you're working in sets of 14 plus 4 chains at the end. Okay. For example, I'm going to be working 2 sets of 14 stitches, which makes it 28 stitches. Then I will add 4 extra chains at the end, which will make it a total of 32. Now, when I was working my panel that I showed you in starting this tutorial, I worked 10 sets of 14, which is 140 chain stitches. All right. Then I added 4 extra chains to make it 144. That's what you need to do. Now, once you have the number of chains that you need for your project or for whichever purpose that you need this for, you are going to get into the second chain stitch from the hook and work a single crochet. Then I will have to work 1 single crochet into every stitch or chain stitch until I get to the end of my row. All right. So since I had 32 chain stitches, I'm going to end up with 32 stitches. Why? Because I worked my single crochet into the second chain stitch from the hook. I hope that is clear for you. And I'm working single crochets because I just need to secure my foundation chains before I get started on the stitch pattern. All right. So work 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way until you get to the end of the row. And that's where I'm going to meet you, then show you how to start or get started on our stitch pattern. So let me meet you there. Here it is. I have finished working into every stitch, and I've worked a single crochet into every stitch. So we are going to get started on our stitch pattern. All right. First of all, we are going to chain 3 and change our work or turn our work. The 3 chains act as a stitch, so that means I will skip the very first stitch and skip the second, and into the third I will work a double crochet. Now this is going to act like an inverted V. All right. Then I'm going to skip 2 stitches. Into the next stitch I'm going to work a double crochet, chain 1, work a double crochet once again into that very same stitch. Now this is a V stitch. All right. Then what's going to happen is I'm going to skip 2 once again, and into the next stitch I'm going to work a double crochet, chain 1, work a double crochet once again into that very same stitch. Now this is more like my peak or the peak of my ripple. So in there once again I'm going to chain 1, work a double crochet into that very same stitch, and then chain 1, work another double crochet into that very same stitch. Okay, so in this way we have more like created 3 V-stitches. All right, now we shall skip 2 stitches and work a double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, into that very same stitch we work a double crochet. Okay, then yarn over, skip 2 stitches, into the next stitch I am going to work an incomplete double crochet just like that, then yarn over, skip 1, get into the next stitch and then work an incomplete double crochet. Then here I will yarn over and pull through all 3 loops that are on my hook. In that way I have worked an inverted V, because that is my low, or that more like the down of my ripple. And now I'm going to skip 2, get into the next stitch and work a double crochet, chain 1, work a double crochet once again into that very same stitch. Okay, yarn over, skip 2 stitches, get into the next stitch. Now this is the up of my ripple, so I'm going to work a double crochet in there just like we did right there. So I'll chain 1, work another double crochet in there. Now those are 2. Again, chain 1, work another double crochet into that very same stitch. That makes it 3 double crochets now. Okay, then once again you chain 1 and work your 4th double crochet all in that very same stitch right there. So that is the up of my ripple. Now we are going down once again. So what happens is still I'm going to yarn over, skip 2 stitches, and into the next stitch I'm going to work a double crochet, then chain 1 and work a double crochet once again into that very same stitch. So basically we are having 1 V-stitch before an up or peak of the ripple, and then 1 V-stitch before the down, or like, I don't know, the value of our ripple. Now here we are going to skip 2 stitches, into the next stitch you work an incomplete double crochet, then skip 1, into the very last stitch we work an incomplete double crochet. Get in there, for me it is a little tricky, but yeah, get in there, work an incomplete double crochet just like that, then yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So that is our inverted V. So basically the inverted V takes us down the valley, and then the 4 double crochets that we work all into the very same stitch are more like the peaks or the heel of our ripple. Okay, so now that is how this works, and this is exactly what we are going to keep repeating, the valleys and the heels of the ripple and everything. It's exactly what we are going to just keep repeating, but I'm going to repeat this with you guys several times, at least for 4 rows, before I know that you have really mastered this. Okay, so for the next row we are going to chain 3 and turn our work. Remember the 3 chains act as a stitch, which would be that one, so I skip the next, and into the next V is where I work my double crochet. So this would more like be an inverted V. Now yarn over, skip the next 2 stitches and get into the next stitch and work your double crochet, chain 1, work a double crochet once again into that very same stitch. Okay, now here we are going to skip 1, okay, because we have finished the down or the valley, which is the inverted V, then the V stitch that should be after that one before we work our peak. Now here we are working our peak. Okay, you can see it's at the center, okay, of the 4 double crochets. So here we work our double crochet, chain 1, work your 2nd double crochet, chain 1, work your 3rd double crochet, then chain 1, work your 4th double crochet all into that very same stitch. The next thing you do is you're going to skip 1 stitch. All right, yarn over, skip 1 stitch right there, into that next stitch you work a double crochet, and then chain 1, work a double crochet once again into that very same stitch. Now next I'm going to skip these 2 stitches right here and get into that next stitch, which would be the center of that V. I'll work an incomplete double crochet, and then skip that 1 to the inverted V and then get into the center of the next V after the inverted V, and there you will yarn over, work an incomplete double crochet, and then pull through all 3 loops. So in this way we have created an inverted V into the V stitches that are close to the previous inverted V right there. I hope I am clear. Okay, now next is we skip these 2 stitches and get into the next stitch and work our V stitch, which will be a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, all in that very same stitch. Then next we are going to work our up, which is the peak. So we skip 1, and into the next stitch we work a double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet, again you chain 1, work 1 double crochet into that very same stitch. So those are 3. Those would be 3. Okay, then chain 1, work your 4th double crochet in there. All right, so you see now this is the peak right here, and it's exactly what we have done for this as well. Okay, now we skip 1, get into the next stitch right there and work your double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, which would be the V after your peak. Now that means if we have the V after peak, we are going all the way down the valley, and that means we are going to skip 2 stitches, get into the next stitch, work an incomplete double crochet, yarn over, skip would be 3, and get into that very last V, the inverted V that we previously worked when starting the row. You work an incomplete double crochet, then pull through all 3 loops, which would be like 2 double crochets together. Okay, now for the next row there is nothing we are going to change about this. We chain 3, turn our work. If you see closely, like I said here, you skip 2 stitches and get into the next stitch and work a double crochet. Okay, skip 2, get into the next stitch and work a double crochet, chain 1, work a double crochet once again into that very same stitch. So that means if we have a V, now we are going to have our peak. Okay, next, so we skip 1, into the next stitch we work a double crochet, then work another, chain 1, work a double crochet into that very same stitch, chain 1 once again, work another double crochet, and chain 1, work your 4th double crochet, all in that very same stitch. Then skip 2, skip 1, work a double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet into that very same stitch, which is after the stitch you have skipped. Now the next thing is we are going to skip 2 stitches. Okay, get into that V right there, work an incomplete double crochet, and then skip the inverted V right there, then the stitch next to it, and get into that V and work your incomplete double crochet, and then work 2 double crochets together. Okay, now I'm continuing my row. Okay, so as you can see, we have to skip 2 stitches. So into that V stitch we work a V stitch. Like I said, we need to have 1 V stitch before our up or peak of our ripple, and then 1 V stitch before our value of the ripple. All right, so once you have finished working your V into that V stitch, you are going to skip 1 and get into the next stitch and work a double crochet, chain 1, work a double crochet once again into that very same stitch, chain 1. Okay, so you see that with the 4 double crochets that we work all in this very same stitch, you find that we have more like created 3 V stitches, and those 3 V stitches we always have our peak of the ripple in the center V stitch. All right, so moving forward, you skip 1 and then work 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet, all into the next stitch. Then here you will skip those 2 stitches and get in there, work an incomplete double crochet, yarn over, skip the next 2 and work an incomplete double crochet, then yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. So this is how this thing works. It's really simple. It's really simple, very easy to, I don't know, I just find this stitch very simple. Okay, because it's a one-step repeat, and for stitches that you just need to manipulate just one step, keep repeating that one step. It comes so easy to follow. So let me just do this once again, one last time, so we can all learn it. Chain 3, turn your work. All right, get into the third stitch and work your double crochet. So basically skip the first 2 stitches, then skip the next 2 stitches and work a double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, work a double crochet into that very same stitch once again, creating a V. Then here we are just going to skip 1. That means we have gotten to the center of our peak. As you can see, that's the center V. So in there we are going to work 4 double crochets, but we are going to be having a chain 1 in between every double crochet. Okay, so you work 1 double crochet, chain 1, work your second double crochet, then chain 1, work your third double crochet, and chain 1, work your 4th double crochet, all in that very same chain gap. Okay, and once you have that, you are going to skip 1 and work a double crochet into the next stitch, 1 double crochet, chain 1, 1 double crochet, all in that very same stitch right there, which is that V. Okay, so you chain 1 and work your double crochet just like that. Okay, then what happens next is we skip the next 2 stitches right there, and we get into that next stitch or that chain gap and work an incomplete double crochet right there, and then yarn over, skip the next stitch, and then skip the next inverted V stitch, skip the next double crochet stitch, and into the next chain gap you work your incomplete double crochet, and then yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Okay, so basically this is how this stitch works. And if you work it while you change colors, let me just explain this while you go through your row. If you work this while you're changing colors along every row, it looks more beautiful and better, and the ripples come out more perfectly, and they are more visible. Okay, I have worked 2 rows and then changed color on the next row after that. Literally for every color on my panel initially, I was working 2 rows. I also want to try out this stitch working 1 row for every ripple, I don't know, 1 row for every color. It also looks beautiful. It is perfect for scarves. It is perfect for skirts, maxi skirts. You can just work 1 long panel and make it a maxi skirt, and everything will look super beautiful. So yeah, it is 1 stitch you can literally get to manipulate in any way that you possibly can. Work a blanket, work a scarf, work a bandeau dress, I don't know. Yeah, you can just go ahead and use this stitch for anything that comes to your mind that you can pull off. So I want to thank you so much for watching. I'll be providing my skirt written pattern on my Etsy shop, so you can go there and purchase it if you would love to try out the skirt. It will be available on my Etsy, Coffee Shop, and Ravelry. But yes, this is how it looks like. For me, it is a beautiful stitch. It's 1 stitch, a beginner can try out just to feel like I've really challenged myself to make this one. So yeah, I think beginners can also try out this kind of stitches so they can, try to practice more with as many stitches as they possibly can. More of these projects will be in my playlist for skill building. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you in my next tutorial. Goodbye.